So cancer sucks. Yeah, that's the intro. As you know, cancer is a horrible and life-altering disease that affects millions worldwide. A lot of people also wonder why we don't have a cure for cancer yet. Well, that's because cancer isn't just one simple disease. Cancer is you. I'll explain. Real quick, I won't be going over the statistics of cancer, treatment, or demographics in this video because, well, those things deserve a video of their own. But if you're really curious, the National Cancer Institute can tell you everything you want to know about cancer, demographics, and everything else. To understand cancer, we need to understand cells, and even more specifically, DNA. A human body has anywhere from 30 to 70 trillion cells in their body at once. Each of these cells contains a nucleus, which houses the DNA it will use to copy itself. In order for all this genetic material to be stored in one nucleus, it has to be tightly packed and coiled. Imagine a double helix kind of like a slinky. Normally, that slinky would be incredibly long and incredibly hard to wield. However, since it's coiled up, it's easy to hold in just the palm of your hand. DNA follows the same idea. It's so long because it has to hold so much, stuff. That's where that double helix shape you always see comes into play. Now, to put into perspective how much DNA is in one cell, if you unwound it all, it would be about 3 microns wide and 2 meters long. Oh, sorry. 6.56 feet. Anyways, I'll talk more about DNA itself in another video. I just wanted to put into perspective how much of this genetic crap is actually balled up inside of you. So let's do some quick math. 30 to 70 trillion cells, give or take, times 2 meters for every cell is... numbers. Big numbers. I'm telling you all this to put into perspective how much information needs to be copied every single time a cell divides through mitosis. And at this scale, the question isn't if something will go wrong with copying, it's when. So cells have issues copying their genetic information all the time. Don't freak out, it's normal. In fact, it usually isn't even an issue because your body has several ways in order to deal with these and prevent it in the first place. So your body has 2 vital pieces that keep genes from mutating in the first place, which cause cancer. Real quick, if you don't know what a mutation is, it's not something that turns you into an X-Man. I mean, they're owned by Sony, so why would you want that anyways? Instead, mutations are caused by mutagens, which cause changes in your genetic makeup. In other words, it just causes things to go in places and react in ways that they normally wouldn't. Our first preventative measure with these mutagens is oncogenes. These oncogenes are what cause cells to normally divide via mitosis. The second one is tumor-suppressing genes. As their name implies, these things suppress tumors by preventing cells from multiplying too quickly. If it helps, imagine oncogenes as a gas pedal and tumor suppressors as brakes. Now, if these 2 things mutate, it's the first step in possibly getting cancer. However, your body has 2 methods of dealing with cells that go haywire. The first is something the cells do to themselves, called apoptosis, which is a kind of cell suicide. Imagine if a cell got way into Japanese culture and committed seppuku when it failed to do its purpose. Essentially, if the cell stops functioning correctly or serves its purpose, it kinda just melts and ceases to exist. The second primary way that your body deals with haywire cells comes in the form of killer T cells. Now, there is no way for me to describe these things without making them sound like enforcers in a gang. So if a cell malfunctions but refuses to properly go through apoptosis to kill itself, these killer T cells will essentially pull up to it and kinda just stab it. Yeah, it's that simple, but effective. What do you know? Everyone's a little bit part Yakuza. Now, these things do all fail in tandem on very rare occasions, but as you get older, the chance of these things all failing together becomes higher. However, I will bring up that even though cancer is at nature random, doing things like smoking, being out in the sun for too long without proper protection, and eating too many unhealthy foods can increase your risk of cancer. So don't be stupid. We've established that cancer is a malfunctioning cell or group of cells. But why is this so bad? So a cancer cell forgets the one thing that makes it so essential as a cell, the ability to cooperate. You see, cells work together in order to form working tissues, which form working organs, which form organ systems, and then form you. Cancer cells, in contrast, act as their own organ, separated from other cells and the other cooperative aspects. Cancer cells also no longer react to your body's signals to do things. The cancer cell tries to be completely self-sufficient, and it does that in many ways. In order to hide from the immune system, it releases proteins that bind to other agents that would hunt it down in order to make them simply ignore it. I don't need to explain why this is really bad. Even worse still, it sends out chemical signals telling other cells to give it more resources. This allows the tumor to grow and spread. It's also a popular tactic used by the 1% during the COVID pandemic. Once the tumor gets big enough, it will try to connect directly to the bloodstream, allowing it to have even more resources and become much more self-sustaining. Now that we've covered why a haywire cell is so bad, especially if it gets out of hand, let's talk about the stages of cancer. There are 4, kind of 5 stages of cancer that you need to know about. This way you'll be able to act smart every time you're watching a medical drama, so you can start critiquing it non-stop like the narcissist you are. Stage 0. There are abnormal cells present, but they don't spread. If cancer's in stage 1 through 3, then that means that there's a tumor present. Stages 1 through 3 are kind of the same. The bigger the tumor, the bigger the number. Stage 4 is where things really get messed up. This is when the cancer metastasizes and starts spreading through your body. Before we get to the 2 main types of tumors, I need to tell you what metastasizing actually is. Metastasis is just another way of saying the cancer has gone through the bloodstream and is now spreading throughout the entire body. With that grisly detail out of the way, let's get to the 2 types of tumors. The first type of tumor is a benign tumor. So a benign tumor isn't actually classified as cancer, as cancer literally means malignant tumor. A benign tumor doesn't spread or multiply very quickly. They're also classified by having a cell capsule, or more like a sac around them, that keeps them from spreading but also acts to protect them. This capsule is made out of discarded cell material. Now, benign tumors can still cause harm, but they're in no danger of metastasizing and spreading throughout the body. Malignant tumors, on the other hand, are much, much worse. This is because malignant tumors adopt a different strategy than benign tumors, which I can only describe in purely scientific terms as... Essentially, malignant tumors rapidly divide and expand. If left unchecked for too long, these tumors will eventually metastasize and spread throughout the body. And that about does it for this video. Before I go, I need to make one more public service announcement. To my fellow Gen Zers, do not vape. That's all, bye!